The universe was once a lovely place to live. Broad smiles beamed from every planet in the Milky Way.
Hi there, welcome to another Life Schools Reviews Play Guide review, and this time we'll be checking out a 3DO title. It's Captain Quasar, developed by Cyclone Studios and released on the 3DO in 1996.
A dastardly syndicate of intergalactic outlaws invaded the galaxy and now threaten everything that we law-abiding citizens hold dear. The government is at a standstill. The authorities are helpless.
The game begins with a space intro of a rendered ship flying towards us. And 1996, yes, if this reminds you of a CD32 game, this definitely could have been ported onto the Amiga.
Check it out! Conspiracy just taking over the galaxy, where cosmic criminals dance and play, terrorize the people every day. When the future looks bleak, come on with smoke. Don't run and hide, don't give up hope. I'm the superheroes coming your way. Come to the universe and save this day. A bit more super goblin in me. Quasar, a new fight machine.
The game begins with an animated introduction where we get to meet our character Captain Quasar and his yellow ship, which reminds me of a Thunderbird submarine. So this is our hero. He's a Superman, and Super Wimp is probably the most important thing to remember. He goes around shooting stuff, but he doesn't have a brain in there, or at least no brain cells. So you can see this animated introduction is fun and funny, and one of the great parts about this game.
Don't get in his way! In that town of me, brains are drawn, nerves are still. He's gonna hit you for his next meal, so stop the scheming and criminal ways. Quasar's here to save the day.
You can see some money has been spent on this animated introduction, and it does go on for a while. And there is CD music, of course, on our 3DO. And this is one of the better titles on that machine. It more or less says that the other titles aren't that good, but I struggled to play this game, and so let's start a new game.
Get in here, Quasar! Sit anywhere. Quasar, I have a tough assignment for you, direct from
At the start of the game, we'll find ourselves in the chief's office, getting a right rollicking.
A dastardly crime syndicate is intent on conquering the galaxy. Leading this space riffraff is a butt-ugly strongman named Ox, who's determined to take over one planet at a time. Aiding Ox are two other hoods. Duba, a renegade synthetic who threatens to addict the galaxy to a heinous spice he's manufacturing, and Zang, the head of an intergalactic...
At this stage, we don't really have to remember any of this introduction sequence, and it's just telling us about the enemies that we'll face in the later levels of the game. I think there may be 8, 9, 10 levels in the game, and I never got off the first level, and you are about to see how far I managed to get with it.
If you've got the cash. Now get out of here, and don't let me down.
Ready, set, alley-oop.
If you notice any slight juddering during this review, that's because I'm playing a 60 frames per second NTSC version, and stupidly I recorded this in 50 frames per second. That means some of the frames are missing. That means the animation will be juddery, especially in the game itself, and that's unfortunate.
See, small appliance. Oh, hey. Oh, wait a minute, where am I? Let's see. Darn Grand McNally. Oh, what is it, boy? Oh, all right then. I guess we'll go this way.
Finally, after all of this introduction, we get to the first level of the game. And this first level is perhaps as far as most people got.
Headquarters to Quasar! Headquarters to Quasar! The renegade Prime Lord Duba is manufacturing a heinous spice that threatens to addict the entire galaxy. Duba is using cargo rockets like these to transport the terrible spice all over the cosmos. Your mission is to stop Duba's spice rockets before they launch and to penetrate and destroy the nearby factories where the spice is processed. Over and out.
Finally, after all that, I hope you memorise what you're supposed to do in this game, because you'll definitely have to know what you're supposed to do, otherwise you won't get off this first level. Captain Quasar, we play as a space marine, and what we've got is a gun. And we can fire that all over that screen and take on the enemies. We can also press another button and launch a grenade as well, and also we have a rocket, and the rockets will take care of the bigger buildings and the more difficult enemies. It's important on this very first level to memorise the whole lot of it, and this will not change if you reload the game, so it's possible to find where all those extra elements are. You can see a rocket taking off there.
Headquarters to Quasar! That rocket just got away, you blockhead! We can't afford many more screw-ups like
And the aim of this first level is to destroy a number of those rockets, a very large number. Might be 15 or 20 of them, which are scattered all through that level. And you can see by interrogating some people, they will give us some information, and that guy's telling us about a teleport system, and just like an old school adventure game, you're going to have to write down all those passwords to all those teleport locations if you want to complete this first level. That's another rocket destroyed, and I think we're only allowed 2 rockets to be destroyed on this very first section, so if you allow 2 of them to blast out into space, then that's no problem, but upon the 3rd one you'll then fail the mission. So the mission is to destroy those rockets, of which you can see you have to be quick, because if they are on the edge of the screen or just near in the vicinity, they will light up and try to go into the sky, and so you've got maybe 5 seconds to rush in there and blow those rockets up before they take off. Once they've taken off, you can't blow them up. So again, you can only leave 2 of those to take off, otherwise you failed the mission, and I've already let 1 of them go already. You can see in the bottom corner it gives us a visual representation of our health, and you'll find health scattered around, but definitely the rockets or what to take care of, and you also have a number of rockets that you can fire at them. You can see we have 25 now, having just picked up a box of them, but we've just lost our first life. I've definitely played this level definitely maybe 7-8 times to try to get this far, and each time I almost made it to the end and I almost completed it, because once you've memorised the route through this level, you also get a map as well that I'll be showing you a bit later on, which is hidden until you've walked into that area. So just like a Command and Conquer game, it gives us a fog of war on the map, and once you've revealed all that, you better make sure that you get the rockets in the right order. Because even though those rockets can be taken out in any order we like, if we are on the wrong side of the wrong wall, then unfortunately we can't take them out. So the teleporter will take you to a secret storage area, and so that's the password. You better write that down, because you're going to need to write that down. Let's find some more ammo, and here's the teleporter. So we can use the controller to enter that in using the A buttons and the B buttons, and then simply walk in there, and that takes us to another location. Having done that, you'll have to enter the same password all over again if you want to go back there, and these teleporters can take us to any location as long as we know that password, and it's a good idea to memorise where all the extra lives are. Definitely, here's one of them, and lives aren't too much of a problem as long as you memorise where those are. And we've already lost one life already, so let's go back to the start of the mission. And so you'll have to memorise quite a few things. I've got a long list of passwords that I've actually written down by interrogating the guys on the level. So hopefully we can get around this level and take a few shortcuts. But of course we'll have to remember where all of those rockets are to blow all those up. And you might notice that I've got some speedy boots now. And now we can use our extra speed, but look at that, more rockets taking off. If I'm not careful, those things are going to blow up. That's the second rocket. So that's definitely the second rocket out of maybe the two that were allowed, so hopefully we can explore the rest of the level. And yes, you can only get to this area unless you walk through the desert or unless you know that password. And so I'm taking care of that area early because I know that. And you can see the walls are destructible and the doors are destructible. You can blast your way through any area as long as you have that firepower. And at this stage the enemies are no problem, and there is no time limit either. But you'll have to keep an eye on your health and the bullet count as well to make sure that you have the bullets. And so these red checkpoint areas are where some information guys hang out that you can inquire, try to get those passwords. There's also jail cells as well, which I'm not sure what I have in there, and also banks that give us some cash. And you can't buy anything with the cash on this very first level, but you're probably going to need to if you manage to get off of it. And look at that, another rocket. Let's get rid of that really quickly using our rockets. That's the easiest way to do it. And so I'm holding on to those rockets as a reserve, and we can also lob grenades as well, as you can see, and they are handy for blowing up walls. These teleporters won't take us anywhere unless we know a passcode, and if we enter all C's, I know that will take us to another area, so it definitely helps. Maybe even printing off a visual representation of the map so that you know where you are, but it does give us a map in the game, which again I'll bring up eventually. So we're down to 2 lives now. We've just picked up a shield and a passcode, and the passcode, a massive red passcode, gives us access to some more doors. And I think just like a gauntlet game, if you blow up the buildings then enemies won't spawn out of that. And also on the map screen it tells us how many rockets we've got to find, and the rockets are actually only half of the problem on this level, because we've got to knock out all of the rockets, bar 2 at least, and we also have to take down 2 bases as well. That means we're going to have to find the location of those bases by interrogation to find the right passwords, and then we're going to have to make sure that we've got enough lives available by the time we get to that base, and that means we can take it on. So rushing now to take on this missile, and the collision detection is only just on the far side. You can see another rocket. It's taking off, and I've died before I've got to it. So let's see if it's still there before we get back, and no, it's gone. So I'm not quite sure if I've gone over the quota of rockets now that we're allowed. Maybe it's 4 rockets, I'm not quite sure. But those are the most infuriating part of this game. You see, we've picked up a map, and that enables us to see more of the map. And I'm not too worried about that. I'm just trying to get some more of these rockets, maybe 4 of them. Can be wasted or blown up, but you will get told off at the end of the level if you've managed to blow up the bases but you haven't got rid of all of the rockets. So there's a commander of the boot camp somewhere according to that, and he has some more passcodes that we need to find. And just like the gauntlet game, or maybe even cannon fodder on the Amiga, it gives us lots of enemies that we can run and gun and take off. We can see the map now, which is huge, and some of the bases will also be in that desert area. So you can see we started all the way over here somewhere, and we found that bonus area way into the desert. We've explored all of this area, and it doesn't show us where the rockets are, I don't think, but we went all the way through there into that teleport, and that teleport is all the way down here, and that's where we are at the moment, where my guy's head is. So you can see that maybe half of this first level has been revealed. You're going to have to memorise where you are, and you're also going to have to memorise which rockets you've taken out as well. Gives us 1 life remaining, and there are lots of extra lives on the levels, so let's just make a beeline for another one, and maps as well, and some of the doors you can't get through unless you blow through them. That's an extra life, but you saw the enemy has an invisibility jacket like the Predator, and some of the enemies even at this stage will be invisible. Having memorised where all those extra rockets are, let's blow our way through them and again line up with this landscape to get rid of the major rocket that we're supposed to get rid of, and it helps to tick these areas off your mental map so that you know where you've been and which ones you're supposed to get to next. Hopefully keep the big rockets all on the side of your screen until you're about to take them on, and then blow them up really quickly. You can see we're missing some here, and that's not very good, and we're about to get told off probably from that boss. So there are maybe 20 different rockets on this first level, and you're not supposed to make a meal of it like me, but you're supposed to be able to line those up with the landscape and take those out very quickly indeed, otherwise you can't complete this level. So that's definitely 4 rockets that we couldn't take out, one of which we were facing in the wrong direction. And I think once the enemies are dead, they're dead, so this landscape should be free of enemies eventually, which means you can walk all the way around it. Let's answer another password. It's not hard to memorise, it's BBB all the way across. That takes us back in the level again, and it looks like we're hunting for some more health. Well, the health doesn't really matter now because we've died again, so it means we've no lives remaining. So you can see this area has been destroyed. Let's have another look at that map. So we've got through this area, but there's still some more to get through, and you can see this area is fine. We followed the path down, but we didn't get as far south as the bonus area, and we still haven't cleared all of this area in the middle of the map. So this landscape is huge, and this is just the first level. This isn't the entire game. So all we need to do is to get rid of the last few rockets and hopefully not miss those, which is very easy to do. Look at that, just got that in the nick of time, because I'm pretty darn sure that we've blown up too many rockets already. I think we also have some continues as well. I'm not sure how many continues we've got, but we've just died, so it's given us an extra 4 lives, so that's fine. It means hopefully with all those lives and those continues and get those rockets blown up, hopefully it should mean with all those going on we can get through it. But it's not as easy as I make it sound, because I've played this over and over again, and even having memorised where the lives are, most of the rockets now and all these areas, it's still not easy, and it still takes some time. So let's run and gun our way through the last of the enemies and get through to the last of the rockets hopefully before we take on those bases. And if you find out the base password early, it's best to take that on whilst you've got 4 lives, because the bases do contain lives, and it's great to pick those up and do the bases early, and then you've just got the rockets to clear after that. If you wait like I did to do the bases at the end, unfortunately you'll be running short of lives, and so we are running short of energy at the moment. So we are, it looks like, still in the middle of that map, and we've still got a few areas left to clear out, So I need to be moving south here, I think, to get through this area. And so I'm heading in the wrong direction according to that. So definitely the map is worth checking out, considering that every opportunity. But I've just died again. That puts us down to 3 lives. So let's keep on going south and let's blow our way through. You can see all of the walls that we destroyed will stay destroyed, which is brilliant. And so we've got another rocket there, and again you have to make sure that that's not on the screen, otherwise that will be a major problem. And those appear on the map, I think, so you can see those spikes, those black spikes on the map shows where the rockets are. That's where, if we've uncovered the map in the first place. The great thing about this game is the music, and the music is real gung-ho music, which gives us a real pumping heartbeat chance of getting through this level, and that's fair enough. And if the scrolling was as smooth as it is in the actual game instead of on this rip, it's just about playable, and I'm sorry if it's giving you a headache. But you can see what we've got. We've got some passes and some bullets. And let's look at the log. We've got rid of 28 of 29 of those rockets. So only one more to find. Fantastic. But we've still got both of the bases left to find.
Good job, Quasar! You've destroyed the last of Duba's rockets, but you still need to finish off his spice processing plant.
This is definitely my best playthrough. I've been played through this and trying to play through this many times, and it sounds like we've got through the rockets by trial and error. And so if you interrogate enough people, they will give you the password to where we're supposed to go, and hopefully I've got that written down, and that saves us going through the desert to find those 2 bases. So let's teleport to the first base, and we'll have to blow our way into that base, and we'll have to be very careful with the steam, otherwise we'll get killed. There's only one correct way around this base, but unfortunately you'll still have to rely on timing to get through these steam vents, and that isn't easy. It's certainly not as easy as you think, because if you hang around on one vent too long, then you're going to get killed. So you can see some bulges in the pipes. That means that they're destroyable, and it's great that virtually everything in this level, in this game, is destroyable. We can blow our way through most things. I'm not sure if these walls are destroyable, but let's collect the extra life that I know is here, and hopefully we can get through this level. Again, the memorization of the bases definitely have to be memorized, and you can't underestimate that, because if you don't know which way to go, like this area, if you know which way to go, you'll get another life, and if you don't, you'll just get fried. And sometimes it gives us a bit of invulnerability, and sometimes we can even time things. Look at that, rushing for that extra life. We can time things. You can see another one in that corner. Don't quite know, well, I actually missed that, and I did know where that was, but I forgot about it. So there are tons of extra lives around here, which is a good thing. And this is the end of our quest. Here is the power generator. We're supposed to blow this up, and that will complete this part of the mission.
Headquarters of Quasar, good job. There's only one more processing plant left to destroy.
Now now we don't have to walk through that base, we can walk through the teleporter again, and I'm about to enter hopefully the final code to the final base, and now all I need to do is to blow this up, and that will mean that this first level is officially completed. So this is my best run. Let's see how far we can get with it, and maybe if you don't run and gun your way through these enemies and take your time, you can get through it. And definitely I reached that stage on one of these playthroughs of taking my time and inching my way forwards to time things, and that's the way you save the lives in this game. But this steam is very annoying, and it will mean that unless you've got the speed, and also unless you know which way to go, because you can get lost very easily, then you will find these levels are a pain. So this is my playthrough of the first level of this game. I do have respect for it, and Captain Quasar, as I say, probably in the top 10 3DO games of all time in my book, and of course Road Rash is at number 1. But you can see it also gives us a map of the base if we've uncovered that, and so we just need to find one more power generator. It appears like we are stuck in the steam at the moment. That's highly annoying, and it means we're losing lives needlessly at this point. I've been going around in circles and getting trapped by this ridiculous steam is the one thing that ruins this game, apart from the juddery scrolling. And the speed is fine, the action's fine. The rockets, there are way too many rockets on the first level. There should be maybe 10 and not tons and tons of them. And maybe one base to take down instead of 2 would have made this game fun. But you can see I'm having no luck whatsoever, being trapped in a dead end in the second base, and that's why I have to memorise it. And if you don't, you're just going to be in a world of pain.
Quasar, in all my years, I've never seen a mission end in such disaster and disarray. I'm putting someone else on the job.
I did actually try again to get a bit further in this game, and we are now loading it up from a save point where I managed to get to before. I haven't destroyed all of the rockets in the level, but I have destroyed the other base. So if I can destroy this base, it means I only need to destroy 2 rockets, and then I've completed the level. And again, if you do the bases first, or early, then that should mean that hopefully, if you know the way to go, you can get those lives. Look at that, by hook or by miracle, we've now got through it. So if we open these gates down here, then hopefully that will reveal to the south here the main complex, and that's where the power generator is. And again, it's difficult to get through it. So I do have respect for this game. There is stuff going on with it, and you won't notice too many long plays on YouTube, but they are on there of people who know how to play this game. So there is fun to be had, and definitely the music, but I just wish the gameplay had been play tested just a bit better, so this game was fun in all the right places and not a minefield of steam, which it is at the moment. If I cut across here, it should give me a first aid pack, and let's just skip to that, and that first aid pack means we can skip across to the generator in the middle.
Good job, Quasar! You've destroyed all of Tuba's spice processing plants.
And that's how far I got on this playthrough, so thank you for viewing this play guide and a bit of review